Welcome to the Boat Buyer's Secret Weapon video series. Today we're talking the 7 boat buying mistakes that I'm seeing during this COVID pandemic. Boat sales are going crazy right now. New boats are coming in and going off the lot. Many dealers around the country are going quickly. The market is flooded with used boats, which is causing some of the problems there. And people are making quick decisions sometimes and not thinking about exactly what they're doing. And that's why I'm putting this together. As always, we're brought to you by the Boat Buyer's Secret Weapon Toolkit. You can grab your free copy at boatbuyerssecretweapon.com/toolkit. So the first mistake, and this is a big one that happens all the time, is just buying the wrong type of boat. The not considering how you're going to be using the boat, who you're going to be using it with, and what type of body of water that you're using it. People find a great deal. They find a shiny boat that just calls their name and it looks cool, but they haven't made the decision of how they're going to use it, when they're going to use it, where they're going to use it, and who they're going to use it with, and they end up buying the wrong style of boat. It's one way area where the toolkit comes in real handy. It can help you kind of make those decisions on what the right boat for you. You also want to watch, if you're a first-time boat buyer, watch my first time boat buying video that's a two-parter that goes into detail about each of the different styles of boat. Second is buying a boat with a mechanical problem. This is happening, I think, a lot because of what's going on with COVID and the amount of sales that are going on. People are seeing that the market, the demand is so high and the supply is so low that people that have a boat that they haven't been able to sell in the past are putting them on the market, and they're not always disclosing the issues. Are they're hoping to find a new buyer that may be a little bit naive about some of the areas that can cause a major problem. Things like compression being bad, overheating, um, the water getting into the engine oil and causing a milkshake effect, and something that's going to eventually cause a catastrophic failure with the engine. And you're seeing some of these boats come on the market by some unscrupulous people taking advantage of the times. So it's real important that you know what to look for and that you follow the steps of buying a boat the right way. If you're buying used, go check out my used boat videos on how to demo a boat the right way, how to inspect a boat the right way, a bow rider, a deck boat, pontoon, tri-toon, aluminum fishing boat. I cover all of them. But the main thing is you don't want to buy somebody's mechanical problem that they're kind of sort of sliding under the radar at this time when there's such high demand and people are in a hurry to get on the water. It can cause a big problem. Second, or third is buying a boat with difficult to get parts or service. OMC is notorious. It's went out of business years and years ago, and parts can be very difficult to find for some of these OMC drives and engines. And people may think they're getting a great deal on a $5,000 boat. Man, we can get on the water for $5,000, and then they've got an OMC engine that if a part fails, it can be very difficult to find what you need. And because they're on the older side, there are going to be some things that fall apart that aren't working the way they need to. Same thing with Force is another engine. There's a couple of them out there, but OMC and the Force outboards are two of the most common that I would encourage you to stay away from. If you're going to buy an older boat, if you're going to buy, even Evinrude now has stopped making outboards, and it's going to be interesting to see if we have that issue with Evinrude parts being difficult to find down the line. What you want to do is, if you find a boat that you really like, make sure you talk to a local mechanic in your area and say, hey, I'm looking to buy this 1987 boat with an OMC Cobra drive and an OMC engine. Is that something you can work on? If you find somebody that's willing and able to work on it, and they say, hey, I have access to parts, you're in good shape. But in your area, if you don't have that person or the ability to get those parts and you're not mechanically inclined, I'm going to encourage you to stay away from that boat, because it's unfortunately it's going to be a bigger headache than it is an enjoyment for your family. That leads us into the next one: buying somebody else's mistake or headache. There may be somebody that bought this boat had that issue. And like I said, the market's kind of being flooded with some sketchy boats right now. I'm seeing it as I look on Craigslist, as I look on Boat Trader, as I see what some even brokers are selling and some dealers are selling, and they're just some telltale signs that maybe the boat has sank in the past. Maybe the boat has overheated. Maybe it has been neglected and it's been sitting in the barn for 5 years and haven't been running. Well, with the boat, that's a major issue. Mechanical things like an engine and the bilge pumps and several of the components on a boat, they need to be run and exercised and get that oil running through the system and get the parts moving and lubricated. And if it's been sitting, it may sound like for a novice, oh my gosh, this boat only has 60 hours on it and it's been sitting in a barn inside covered up for 5 years. It's pristine. It looks great on the outside. Um, you know, what could be under the surface are major issues and headaches that you could be buying. So I want you to be cautious. And again, watch my other videos on how to inspect. I go into a lot of detail on some other videos that are help you avoid making a buying mistake. Paying too much right now, people flocking to boating amidst coronavirus, COVID producing boat boom. What that's doing is that's driving some of the prices up. And if you are going to buy a boat and you say, man, we're going to run it for a year or so and then sell it, that may not be feasible because I don't believe these boat prices are going to stay where they're at. I believe they're going to come back down to normal ranges. If you want to get on the boat and you're willing to pay a little bit more to get out on there now while things are crazy and you've got the time and all of that, then certainly do it. But understand that prices right now are inflated a little bit, and there are some people that are trying to, I say, take advantage of the situation. They're selling it for market value right now, but I don't want you to get in a situation where you overpay for it, and then when you go to get out of the boat, prices have come back down, and you're in a financial struggled position. If you can handle it financially and you want to get on the water, then certainly do it because it is a great time to be boating right now. But just be aware that you don't want to pay too much. We also have our program, the Magic Money Saving Method, to help you save money when you buy your boat. You can check out that video at boatbuyerssecretweapon.com/save, and that's something that could ensure you don't pay too much. Not knowing the full cost of boat ownership. We did a full video on this. It's 28 minutes long. We've got a calculator that tells you the true cost of boat ownership. When you go to buy a boat, that comes free with the toolkit, which you can get at boatbuyerssecretweapon.com/toolkit. But that video goes into full detail on what you can expect for insurance, storage, maintenance, the cost of the boat itself and payments, what you're going to spend on fuel and gear. And it just gives you a full picture because it's not just the boat. Once you get the boat, then you need all the safety equipment. You need to maintain it on a yearly basis. You're going to have maintenance. You're going to have to fix things. You have to repair things. You're going to have to store the boat. You have to do all of these different things. And I want to make sure that you know exactly what you're getting into so that you don't get into a position where you buy the boat and then you don't have the money to go out and put fuel in it and fill the cooler up and have a good time because you're concerned about the financial burden of owning a boat. And then there's not doing the proper maintenance after you buy the boat. So you avoid all these other mistakes. You get a reasonably good deal. You get the right boat. It's in good shape, good condition. It's right for what you're doing. But then you don't understand what it takes to maintain a boat. It's not like a car where you just change the oil and check the tires every now and again. With the boat, you have to winterize if you're in a northern climate where it freezes hard. You have to change your impeller, which if you don't, could cause a catastrophic event where it overheats and you get some rubber up in your stern drive and your motor, and you got some major $5, $6, $10,000 problems. There's a lot of things that you need to know that if you're new to boating, you may just overlook because you didn't know it, especially if you buy a used boat from a private individual. Nobody's going to tell you this stuff. So read your owner's manual. If you can't find one, you can usually go online and get the specs of what the approved maintenance is at the 100-hour, 300-hour, 500-hour service intervals, so that you take care of it, and then when you do go to sell it, or when you go to use it the next year, you've got a boat that that sticks with you and is a lot more fun than it is headache and breakdown. So that's something I encourage. And then finally is not learning to properly boat. You know, this guy, he's got his boat going with the trailer on it, which clearly is not the right way. But unfortunately, in this time of a lot of new people getting into boating that just buy the boat and get out on the water and say, I'll figure it out as I go, I've heard of some devastating stories. Somebody that was on the front of a pontoon, they were dangling their feet in the water as they were cruising slowly, sitting in the front of the pontoon. The foot caught in the water. They fell in, and the pontoon just ran over them. Issues of having kids out in an inner tube and slinging them and not understanding how that works and causing major problems. I've boated since I was 5 years old. Never had a major incident. You know, some little nicks and dings here, just being stupid. But it can be a great hobby for a family. It can be a fun activity. But if you aren't respectful of the fact that you have a 3 or 4 blade prop that's spinning like a bunch of knives behind your boat, if you're not respectful of that, it can be dangerous. I was out just the other day with my some family that was boating, new to boating. It was their second year with the boat, and their son jumped off right in front of the boat as it was moving to get a hat that had fallen in the water. And luckily, it ended fine, but my heart sank as soon as it happened, because had that boat been turned the other direction, it could have been a catastrophic issue. So realize that boating is a great activity. I highly encourage it. If you're thinking about boating, I would say do it, but understand how to boat safely. Take a safe boating course. Get with a friend that's been boating for a long time. Hook up with a dealer that can give you some training. Watch some videos online and know how to do it properly, know how to do it safely, and have fun with your entire family. So that's it. YouTube has recommended a couple other videos for you. I encourage you to go to boatbuyersecretweapon.com. Check out all of the videos there on the YouTube channel. Subscribe, get all of our new videos, get that toolkit for sure. And if you want, if you enjoyed this, like it, comment. If there's another mistake that I missed that you've seen or heard or been involved in, leave that comment. We'd really appreciate it.